Are you working two jobs or more to just survive? Here is a special way that we'll be talking about today. We are talking about breaking the cycle of paycheck to paycheck living. I know a lot of us are living in this world. I've been there multiple times, but there was a way I was able to crawl my way out of that pit hole of living paycheck to paycheck, doing double job, working long hours, multiple shifts just to make ends meet, even while you're breaking your body. Tonight, we'll be discussing in depth because I've come across a bunch of questions over the few years that I started this business, and I want to address some of that concern because for me, it's a real issue, a legitimate questions that deserve a great answer. And today, we are going to dive into that. Good evening, everybody, and I hope you are having a blessed day. Thank you for tuning in. Either you're watching me live right now or you're watching a replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm excited that you are here with me, and welcome to today's live section here, whichever of the platform that you're watching me from. I want to talk about something that is really, 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 really real to a lot of us. For those of us working multiple jobs, for those of us who have to do overtime, work multiple hours even to survive. We are juggling shift after shift just to survive. It's really, really, I think I'm using the word really, really, and I apologize for that because for me, it's something that's really serious for a lot of us working parents, for working immigrants, whether you're in America, in Canada, in Europe, in any part of the UK. It is a big problem because most of us, we left our home country to come to our newfound home, and we work hard. We have the education, we have the energy, we have the dreams, we have the aspiration, but most of the things that we come to meet is a new system, is a new way of doing things, is a new way of thinking, is a whole new ball game. And a lot of us, before we know what, we are caught up in this circle and we don't know a way to get out. So I recently heard a questions asked, and it got me thinking because I've asked myself that question before. And when I hear people talk of multiple income or budget, make do with what you have and stuff like that, I know, like, okay, you have to show me because what I have is not even enough for the bills. So how am I going to make things work? How will that happen? And I learned over the years that is possible. Sometimes knowledge is key, application is major, and the desire to work in that path. If you are ready, let's dive in. Let me read the question to you. The question said that, oh, I work two jobs just to keep up with rent and bills. Where does financial dominion, some would say financial freedom, some would say financial flexibility, where does it fit when I barely can have energy left to do anything else? By the time I go to work and come back, let me put it my own way. When I come back from work, I'm exhausted. Whatever I bring home is not enough to cover what I need cover. Then what can I do? How can I get this financial freedom you all are talking about? How can I get this financial dominion you all are talking about? And for me, like, okay, what can I do as a person? Because when I found myself in this same situation, I asked that question. Did I get the answer right away? I had to piece things here and there, but it took me a while to get it. But I did, and that's what I want to talk about. Because you say, oh, where does financial dominion fit in with all of this? What can I do as a person? What can I do as a working individual, right? What can I do as a working mom, as a nurse, as a PCT, as a teacher, as a police officer, whatever be your background? One thing that we have in common is that we all have bills to pay. We all have responsibilities to cater for. Maybe you have children of your own, maybe you don't, but you may have parents who are dependent on you or not, but you still support. You have things that you need money for. Now, how can you make the money you make right now meet what you have? And if the money you have right now is not sufficient, right, to cater for the things that you need, what can you do to make things easier for you and for your family? That's what we are talking about today. And I'm going to preview like what I did myself and what other people have done that I've seen that work. So what I'm sharing is what had worked. It's not just theory that I heard from somewhere, but something that I have tried myself. Other people have tried as well, and it worked for them. It created the result that they desire. So if you've ever felt like, oh, what can I do to make extra income, to increase my income? Or I have to go back to school, or do I have to go to another certification? I'm already tired. Like this individual is a legitimate question. She worked quite all right, right? You do the job, you come back, you're tired. All you want is sometimes you just you want to sleep. But you know that those bills on the table, they are calling for you. Sometimes your creditors may even be calling, right? You have the rent, you have the mortgage, you have the child care, you have all these bills that you can name and name. You can write a whole page full of them. But guess what? How can you move from point A, where you have of not having enough, to point B, where you can have more than enough, right? Maybe get to the point of enough, and then you get to the point of more than enough. It is a possibility. So the question is, where does financial dominion fit into, where you're barely surviving and you don't have energy, where you have no energy left to do just anything? That used to be me. I would say I'm a busy mom, right? When financially strapped, I was a busy mom, paying for childcare, paying for rent, paying for all kinds of things, and yet you have to support family back home. What can you do? I live in New York. New York is expensive, right? But you know that there is more, because I always say the right questions will give you the right answer and point you to the right direction. Because sometimes we can wallow in self-pity, we can wallow in whatever is going on, we can excuse it, or we look for a solution out of it. And I always say that the right questions, when we ask ourselves, we are sincere with ourselves, and we ask the right questions, we, even within us, we can dig out the solution. And that's one thing that I've learned. I never used to do that, but I've learned over the years to do that, and it has become a really, really great help for myself. So I completely understand and I get it, because remember, I told you myself was in the same category some years back, as to living hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck. Before my next bill come, is already maxed up, and I owe back a whole bunch of creditors, and everybody want their money at the same time. So by the time you're done paying all the bills, you barely have anything left. And sometimes I have to make a choice. Do you get paid this month, and I'll flip you up to next month? But that is the reality. Maybe not for you, but it was my reality at some point. And that's why I'm addressing this question. When you have so much bill to pay and you're exhausted, what else can you do? Is there a way out for you? Is there the picture, is the dream? Do I just shove it on the side and say, like, okay, that's the way it is, that's what life it is? No, that's not the way life is. You have an option, and that option are the things I'm discussing today, that you can move from not having right now, working hard. That's a good thing. You're hustling with your job, you're doing this, taking care of your family, paying your bills, but at the end of the day, you don't have much. There is good news for you, because there are options and ways that you can come out of it, right? Because I was there, like I said, when you have to juggle two jobs, and sometimes you don't have anything left, not energy, and even what you bring home is not enough to cover the bills that you have. It's draining, it's tiring, and sometimes I come back home tired. And if any of you can relate, let me know in the chat that yes, it can be exhausting. Maybe you've worked 2 shifts, you work 2-3 days in a row without even coming home to have some fresh clothes. You just have your uniform over and over and over. I've been through that. So many of us have been through that. I've heard so many stories, and that relates to the question that we are addressing today. So I want you to know that you are not alone. I've been there and I'm sharing from my experience how I was able to get out of that, because like I said, it's just a decision away. We can get out of anything if we make up our mind that we will. And if we look out for something that we can do, yes, absolutely, we can do that. Thank you, Amaka. Oh, Amaka say, guys, Plan B is highly recommended in today's world. Absolutely. Amaka, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Plan B is recommended in today's world. So sometimes the job and the income you get from your job alone is not sufficient, and that's why we will find ourselves in predicament like this, where you're bringing home some and it's not sufficient to meet what you have in the house for yourself and your family. And here is the truth: financial dominion is possible, right? Financial freedom is possible. Have people done that around our world? Yes, we see it every day. And sometimes that gets you questioning, how are they doing it, right? How are they doing it? Sometimes I pass through and I see some people lounging around in the morning. You have time to go and jog, go to the gym, do a bunch of, like, I want that job or whatever they are doing to be having this kind of life. I want that kind of life, right? But it takes knowledge, it takes information to get there. It takes steps to get there. And those are some of the things we are talking about today. So yes, America, thank you. True word. Yes, it is true word, because a lot of us go through so many things. We can work hard, we can hustle, but it's not about working hard. You've been working hard. Did it get you out of the financial hole that you're in? You've been working extra job, two job, long hours. Did it get you out of there? So it's like doing the same thing over and over, and you feel like you're going to have a nice fried potato in front of you. No, I will call it a burnt potato at the end of the day, right? So the question now is, then what can I do differently that will take me to where I want to be? That should be the question. Remember, I made mention of asking the right questions. Sometimes it's not the answer, but the right questions will point us in the right direction. So, what can we do? It's not about working harder. It's not about adding another job. It's not about picking another shift. It's not about, do another overtime, right? It's about creating a smarter system. Let system work for you. Why do you get exhausted after your 8 hour, 16 hour, whatever work? Because it's just you. Your body needs rest. You're not a machine. You need rest, right? That's why you break down. Some of us can go and then we go in the cafe. And I work in healthcare. I like coffee is your best friend every day. And both of them carrying mugs and Stanley cups, all kinds of cups around. What's inside? Some form of caffeine is in there, right? And you're drinking yourself to order. At the end of the day, it's not good for you, but leave that for another day, right? But the fact of the matter is that it's just you. It's just you. But you can create a system that will shift the picture for you. You can create a smarter system that make money work for you. Now, when you have a job, two job, three job, overtime shift, you are working for the money. When I go to my job, I'm working for the money. But when I have a system that runs on the background, whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm doing whatever I'm doing, the system is allowing my money to work for me. So whatever money I might have invested, as little as whatever amount, I'm allowing it to work for me. So while I'm sleeping, or maybe on my job, my one job, not the two or three, right? I can now cut back. Little step, gradually, maybe you start with two jobs. Fine, great, that's where we are. Now, how can we retrace our step back? Okay, I'm able to create system that work for me, and then I cut my hours back to maybe from 16 to 8, right? Or 16 to 13 or 12 hours, and gradually to 8 hours, like that, as you go. Why? Because you now have a system that is working for you for those hours. And remember, systems don't sleep. For instance, we all use social media, Facebook. When you're sleeping in one part of your world, I mean, like in the United States, we have like about 5 time zones. So maybe when you're waking up, somebody in Australia, for instance, is almost like 24 hours ahead of you. They're doing their thing, right? But because you're using system, your system, somebody in another part of the world, in another part of the state, can access it without any issue. Thank you so much, Amaka. Said yes, asante. I don't know what that means, but I'm glad. I wish you explained that word for me in a language that I understand. All right, so it just the shift. You have to make a shift, because for me, making system work for me was an eye opener. And it was an eye opener for me when I started this digital business that I currently run. I don't have to be tied to it to run. Yes, there was a learning curve. There was a time when I had to learn, but it wasn't like a whole day, 8 hours, sit down and learn a system. 1 hour, 2 hours. I choose the time. I choose when I learn. And because why? I was building something that is mine on the side. That shifted everything for me when I discovered the digital business model. It's changed everything for me. I used to do the multiple job, running on empty, barely having, missing precious time with my kid. I'm a mom of 5. Imagine if you have to work all the time. Anytime you get home, I'm cranky. All I want to do is sleep. My family are not really getting the fresh food because I just make food and store them and store them. You're hungry, come back from school, get yourself something to eat. But I love the idea of fresh food. Now I can sit and I cook every day if I want to, because I have the time to do that. But before, I couldn't do that. My family have to pay the price. My health have to pay the price, right? So we choose, but it's not that the option is not there. I didn't know about it. That's why someone like me come out here all the time and I share this information, right? For you to know that yes, there's an option. When I started my online business, it wasn't like something that demanded my 8 hour shift, like I did mention. No, it didn't demand 6, 12 hours from me. 1 hour a day. 2 hours a day. When I come back in the evening, I finish taking care of my family. The little time I have, I put to that. Weekends, I take an hour or two and put into that until I grew it to where I am, that, it released me of the pressure, that financial pressure, and gave me breathing room. For a lot of us, that's all we just need. We just need breathing room. So if you're in that cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, where you're running from one job to another, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to say in our colloquial, that there is an option. You can start right now, just as I'm saying, with the job you're doing, you can start a business right now and create something for yourself. And in a year, 2 years from now, it will change a picture for you. Maybe 6 months down the line, 12 months, 24 months down the line, it could be a different story, but you wouldn't know if you start. Then another thing I will say to the person asking this question, oh, I don't have the time. So the question we are addressing is that I work long hours, 2 jobs. When I come home, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. How can I get financial dominion when I don't even have the energy to do anything else? And that's what I'm addressing. So my second solution is this, that you can start by creating something little as a budget for you. Sometimes it's just trimming and cutting back, right? Not the big stuff, the major stuff, but there are some things that we can cut back. I'll speak like to my Nigerian African community. You don't need another Ashobi to dress well, right? You can cut that back. You don't need to be at every event or birthday party or whatever. You can cut that, put the funds into help you create a better budget, right? And then secondly, every sale, ladies, every sale, you don't have to be there. The fact that it's on sale doesn't mean you should buy it. And thirdly, when there's a stock closeout and they say, oh, everything must go, doesn't mean you are the one to clear it out for them. Please put that money and you'll be able to budget. You'll be surprised how much money you will have around at the end of the day, right? Then you can, the next solution is this. You can start building a mini emergency fund for yourself, because sometimes if you're driving a car, the car can break down. If you have a house, some major electric, water, plumbing, or something can happen. You need a little money. So start a little emergency fund, I will call it, and it can be as little as $10 a week. That money that you used to buy lunch, you can pack your lunch, cook, have extra that you take to work the next day, and put that money that you used to buy food. Yes, sometimes you treat yourself, but when you're financially strapped like this, maybe dining out and buying food and all those stuff may not be the time for that. When a time will come when you put the priority right, you will have enough of that to do it right. It gives you peace of mind that you know that, okay, something breaks in the house, I have something to take care of it. Oh, my tire pop, I won't worry, I have something to take care of it. A major bill on my car comes, I have something to take care of it, right? That's why we talk of having that emergency fund. And it could be as little as $10, like I said, $10 every week. You put it within a period of time, it can be a chunk of money that you can fall on to use. And then invest in learning skills. You can never be there. Your skill is yours. You have to invest in learning new skills, something other than what a lot of us already have skills. If you already have certain skills, discover your skills and make use of them, right? And if you don't have certain skills, learn and build skills that will have long-term value for you, like digital marketing. That's what I do. Content creation. A lot of us consume content. Can you be the one creating some of those content? Look into learning some of those skills, right? And you will grow. But the most effective thing I have found for myself is leveraging online business platform that has automation, it has mentorship, and even proven strategies to have worked for so many people of different ethnic background and nations. It doesn't matter where you are. If you put it in America, it works. You have it in Canada, it works. You put it in Africa, any nation in Africa, it works. In Asia, any of the nations, it works, because the system have been proven time and time and time again to work. So yes, is a great opportunity and strategy you can leverage, and that's what I do. And I share, there's room for that, and I share details about that every time here on my platform. So if you're tired of working, just 2 jobs, 3 jobs, long hours, doing the overtime just to survive, take care of yourself and your family, and you still find yourself, still living financially strapped, paycheck to paycheck, and not having much, is like literally struggle month after month, year after year, then you want to explore smarter ways. And those are some of the things that I've outlined so far. So I would love to share more about this digital opportunity with you if you are open to it. So it's not about hustling, because a lot of us think, oh, I have to hustle harder. Oh, what am I doing? I'm hustling. No, it's about stepping into systems that works, and then you make those systems work. You learn them and they work for you. Some form of automation there that replaces your individual person. So if you want to reclaim your time and your energy and your financial future, send me a message. Direct message me, or even in the comment section right now, put more info, and of course definitely be sharing the details with you. I appreciate you spending this few minutes for me with me here. If you're watching a replay, let me know you're watching a replay. Thank you. Have a blessed evening, and I hope to bring another questions that can clear some of the doubt and educate us on some ways that we can create some financial empowerment and dominion in our life. God bless you and have a good evening. Bye.